It's interesting. The other day I was saying about OKC, I'm like, I know they're going to win in some series. I know they're really good. I'm not doubting that. Brilliant GM. I don't think SGA will quite get that whistle in the postseason, but he'll get a whistle. If Chet Holmgren's healthy, they've got some offensive options. I do worry about their young players in big road games. Everything changes. No sport in our country changes more from regular season to postseason. I mean, I'm watching here today. You got to fight in the NBA. Minnesota's coaches, and you're getting feisty now in playoff seeding, and it's like it changes the game. It's a outside of the COVID year. Men win in the playoffs. Young men can do really well in the regular season. But the one thing about Oklahoma City, Tom Tolbert texted me when I was talking about him. He goes, they lead the NBA in assists, or they lead the NBA in creating turnovers, but have the fewest turnovers. They just are really, really efficient. They don't turn it over, and they force turnovers. I don't think Golden State could beat OKC. I think Golden State would beat Houston. Houston's shooting's better today than 3 months ago. I still don't trust them in a big playoff spot. Oklahoma City, to me, they're like Cleveland the last couple of years. They're going to win playoff series. They're just too good. They got too many good players, too good of a coach. Go deep dive on Oklahoma City, and because I look at them and I think they have two or three things that really matter. They're well coached, a dominant scorer. So they know late in games in a playoff game, here's where the ball goes. That is so important. The great teams all have that. Denver had it with Jokic. And generally, like the Spurs, you'll have a second guy in Tony Parker if Duncan gets doubled. It's great to have two. And if Holmgren's healthy, I trust him at a big spot hitting a shot. He's a great player. So they have an identifiable star and a co-star. They're well coached. They play real defense. They're young, but they're not inexperienced. Like these guys have played in big colleges, big moments. I think they're a Western Conference Finals team. I would take the Lakers over them, and I don't feel like I'm being a homer. I would just take LeBron and Luka and the possessions and a half and a game. What do you think their journey looks like in the postseason?
So their defense, I'm 100% sold on, will perform really well. The only team that I'm worried about them defensively against is the Lakers because LeBron and Luka attacking their smaller perimeter players. Oklahoma City's defense is nearly perfectly constructed. They're incredibly fast on the perimeter, and Mark Daigneault has built their scheme towards forward aggression and passing lanes to try to force turnovers. It's optimized towards the type of personnel they have. They also have rim protection in Chet Holmgren, which is a very important part of success in the playoffs. And then they have a couple of different types of defenders that are especially valuable. So, for instance, Lou Dort is one of the very best guys in the league that you can throw against a big star forward. And like there's just so many of them in the Western Conference, whether it's Luka and LeBron, or it's literally Kawhi Leonard, or it's Kevin Durant, or whoever it is you're playing. There's all these star forwards. He's a great option. Isaiah Hartenstein has come to the surface as like a guy they use for the bigger power players, and he's had a lot of success.
By the way, the Knicks have missed him defensively. No question.
Yeah, his ability to defend in a bunch of different types of coverages, but specifically to handle the big, strong bully ball types of players has been a huge asset to that Thunder defense. The only weakness I see in the Thunder defense is size as an aggregate thing, particularly on the perimeter. And it manifests in bad defensive rebounding, which has been a consistent thing they've struggled with over the years. And then that's where I can see some vulnerability where it's like, okay, you put Lou Dort on Luka, great. Who's guarding LeBron? There's just nobody else on the roster that can make LeBron feel really all that uncomfortable. So I think that's what we're saying. The offensive end is where I see some cracks in the armor, in the sense that they thrive in transition off the strength of their defense. But what happens if there's a team that takes really good care of the basketball and controls pace and keeps OKC trapped in the half court? And it's a big high leverage playoff series where you need J-Dub and Chet and Dort and these guys to be effective offensively. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not trying to nitpick here because I should be clear. We are nitpicking here because this is the one seed in the Western Conference. As I agree with you, I would be stunned if they didn't make it to the conference finals. But
Yeah.
in the conference finals context, if they faced a Denver or a Lakers, I think it's at least worth mentioning that those teams would be dramatically more experienced and
Yes.
dramatically bigger on the perimeter. One
Yeah.
last thing I'll say about it, they do rely heavily on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander pull-up shooting when things go south for them
Yeah.
offensively. In those situations, I like a team of a bunch of 6'8", 6'9" guys that have long arms to contest. And
Yeah.
that's something where I could see that being a value. So I think they deserve to be the favorite. But yeah, I'm with you to where, like, if I saw the Lakers and the Thunder about to play in a Western Conference Finals, it'd be really hard for me to not pick LA.
Yeah. It's interesting because the Lakers are the rare team that doesn't have a dominant center, but they're actually big and long.
Yeah,
Rui,
everywhere.
Jackson Hayes, everybody's big and long. Even Austin Reeves is, and they're also very comfortable offensively with contact. Austin, LeBron, Luka, like Rui. They like contact. They're a team that you could see in playoff games getting to the line a lot. You know what I found interesting, and I've always liked Austin Reeves. My argument is you can't win a championship if he's your two. I'm not sure you can if he's a three. You're absolutely an excellent team if he's a four. So he's a three on this team. But it was interesting when Luka came. I thought, oh boy, is he going to get as many touches? It's weird the Luka, because Luka's LeBron's a great passer. Luka is very good at getting the ball ahead. Sometimes I think he does it. So this is my thing with Luka. Sometimes I think he's one of the great. He and Jokic, they're great down the court passers. They are
Mhm.
great quarterbacks. Sometimes I'm like Luka just doesn't want to defend. He's like, you guys, I'm gonna get the ball up the floor. It's too far for me to lag. Just go ahead, take the play. And that's my, and that's kind of my Luka criticism is that he's a defense is more of a hobby than it is, a vocation. But Austin Reeves, this has been the most impressive he's been to me because I honestly think with Anthony Davis, sometimes there was a sense, and I could be wrong on this, Jason, but there was a sense sometimes, slow it down. We got a big. Let's use him. This is an opportunity for LeBron in this half court set. Let's get it to Anthony Davis. And with Luka and LeBron, the tempo feels like really plays into Austin's game because Austin's a good passer. He likes contact. He likes the ball. He can play off ball. He moves. And I feel strangely that I thought Luka would be a net negative. I feel like he makes Austin better. It's almost like there are times Luka, especially after he set a couple baskets, not that he takes the total possession off, but he likes it. He conserves energy. I see that with LeBron and Luka sometimes. Hey kid, this is your possession. But I feel like this is the best Austin I'm not sure if the efficiency ratings say it, but I feel like this is the most free he's played. Sorry to interrupt this great video, but please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you. Now back to the video.
No, he's been excellent. He's averaging in his last 10 games over 27 points per game on over 67% true shooting, which is insane. That's just field goal percentage weighted for threes and
Some
free
of that
throws.
is mental. Like he feels like it's his possession, right?
Oh, absolutely. There's a certain amount of LeBron's injury having been good for the Lakers to help those guys get into rhythm. Austin had been dealing with a calf injury, if I remember correctly, that he had just come back from, and then Luka obviously had missed a good chunk of the season, and so both of those guys were a little out of rhythm. In the Celtics game in particular, like Austin and Luka were both bad in the Celtics game up until like Luka put up a big box score, but most of that was later in the game. So like those two, when LeBron was out, had an opportunity to really just get tons of touches and get their rhythm figured out. And to LeBron's credit, when he's come back, he hasn't really stepped on their toes. And this is, we've talked a lot about Kevin Durant being a plug and play superstar. And I want to be clear, I still think he's one of the very best, maybe the best plug and play star ever.
Yeah.
But LeBron, I don't think gets enough credit for this in the sense that like Luka and Austin come with their fair share of shortcomings. Like Austin's not a great athlete. Luka is a bad defensive player most of the time. LeBron is the guy that they can be like, oh, we need you to run the offense in this stretch. He can do that. Hey, Austin's cooking. A great example of this was the Pacers game when LeBron hit the game winner. In the second quarter, LeBron came out and Austin was cooking. Austin was just frying everybody on the Pacers. And so instead of co-opting the offense, LeBron just set screens for him at the top of the key and played off of Austin. And at the same time, like up before his injury, he was playing some of the best defense he had played in this late phase of his career. He's basically taking all these elements of his game and picking and choosing how to plug them into what the team needs in that particular game. Austin gets hurt in the second half of the Pacers game, isn't out there in that fourth quarter stretch. LeBron needs to be a scorer again. Suddenly he goes out and scores and he gets over 10 points after he had 3 through the first 3 quarters. Like that's part of LeBron's versatility and how it fits into this picture. The thing that I think is important to remember too, and this is one of the most common misconceptions about how we talk about star trades. We go, well, there's only one ball. And the reality is that basketball as a team sport against elite defense is about incrementally breaking down defenses like we were talking about with Boston. Austin Reeves, when he catches the ball on the perimeter with a defender closing out at him and he looks to score, gets over 1.35 points per attempt. That's sky high. Meaning, when Austin's man helps on Luka in LeBron action, Austin is scoring almost every time in those situations. The beauty of what makes the Lakers so difficult to guard is that you can't really have enough resources to account for all of them. And inevitably, one of them is going to get an advantage. And Austin just does such an amazing job attacking with those advantages. I think that there's no rhythm problem with those three guys. Any issues that we have with the Lakers, I think, should be centered around the defensive end of the floor, rim protection, health, things along those lines. I am 0% concerned about LeBron, Luka, and Austin figuring out how to work together offensively.